Yes, it is. Yeah,
Okay.
turn it on.
Okay, so
Is,
good
is it
afternoon po.
okay? Sorry, Faith. Is it okay if Chona is with me?
Yes, yes po. Yes,
Wonderful. Salamat.
it's okay po. Okay, so
Salamat.
this interview meeting is about um a performance task in one of our subject which is purposive communication, and I'm with my group mates, but some of them are unable to connect because of electricity problem. So I'm Faith Samaba with Laika Fandino, and Beatriz Lakindanum, Juliana Bondok, and Zaini Esponga. So
Even the names of
we will start with our sir, this will only consist 10 questions only.
Yeah.
Okay, so for our first question.
So yeah, hi po, I'm Angelica. So for the first question, where are you from po?
I am originally from Austria, but I'm living since 7 years in Australia.
Oh, so what's your culture like?
It's very similar to the Philippine culture. We are a very strong Catholic country. Yeah, the culture is extremely similar, even with food.
Oh, with food. So is there a unique celebration or a holiday in Austria?
Not really, because we have the Catholic holidays. Like I said, we are a Catholic country. That's the most holidays we have.
for example, the Saint All Souls Day.
Yeah, like what you have tomorrow. When is it? When we go to the grave?
November 1.
On November
All
1.
Souls Day.
Yeah. All the Catholic public holidays you have here in the Philippines, we have the same in Australia. In Austria. The Australians, they don't have Catholic public holidays or from any other religion. Like the Australians, as an example, with special public holiday is the Melbourne Cup. That's a horse race. Till now, I don't know why is this a public holiday. Even the Australian footy, that's Australian football, it's a public holiday. Even that I don't know, but the most Australians don't know why is it a public holiday. 3 times per year is the Queen's birthday in Australia.
3 times a year?
Yeah, because it depends about the state where you're living. Yeah. I'm living in Victoria, and there is it. I don't know when is the birthday, but 1.5 months later is it then in Queensland, and then again 1 till 2 months again is it in Western Australia. So it's strange and crazy.
It's very unique though. Thank you for sharing.
Then they have just Christmas Day, the 25th of December, because they are celebrating Christmas at the 25th, not like we Catholic do on the 24th. Then the Boxing Day, it's the 26th, that's just for shopping. And the New Year's Day. So we have just, I think less than 10 public holidays in Australia, but in Austria we have the same Catholic public holidays like you have here in the Philippines. And that we are own country, so that the citizen, the freedom after the Second World War is a special public holiday. And just yesterday, the 26th of October we are celebrating every year on this date that we are a country. So that we got the certificate that we are a country, same like that.
Okay, so thank you for, and then next questions.
Salamat.
Thank you.
Hi JT. My name is Bea, and I will be you're the next interviewer. So the question is, what is the most popular sport in your country?
Oh,
Austria, in Austria.
in Austrian or Australia?
In Austria.
In Austria, the most popular.
Hmm.
Oh,
Football,
no, soccer.
soccer.
She was asking about sport.
Yeah.
That's soccer, skiing, tennis, and gymnastics.
That's the most
Yeah.
popular one.
So
Yeah.
that's the popular sport in your country. Am I right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So for the
Another
next
question?
question, pardon.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, okay. So for the next question, between foreign and local music, which do you find more appealing and why?
Local Philippine music, right?
Yeah.
I'm honest. Till now, I don't heard much Philippine music. All what I hear now is more Korean. On public places that they're playing everywhere.
And English song.
Yeah, English songs and from the US and Korean. So a traditional Philippine music, I don't heard it till now. And that's sad a little bit.
Well, just like you said, I totally agree. It's because nowadays some of the people who really like the Korean culture nowadays, and even like the concerts of the popular artists, that's the trending issue here in the Philippines.
I see. I see it from my two daughters. They're listening to the majority, Korean music. Do we have the Philippine traditional music?
We have.
Why I never heard it?
I'm singing it, but you are not fond of
Because I don't understand.
music. Yeah.
Do you have another question?
Yeah, so for our next question, what was your reaction to the culture shock when you first went to the Philippines?
There was no really a culture shock for me.
There are some,
When
especially with the expectations you had.
if I compare it with my original culture, Austrian, there is no culture shock. What I was not expected was, or I expected it is more cleaner, especially here in Manila. Everywhere rubbish and so stuff, and the air because of the traffic from the
Yes.
cars and so. Was there some other points I was complaining?
No.
Just the rubbish. Yeah, and sorry. A big surprise for me was even to see so many poor people and how they're living here on the streets in very tiny, nearly damaged buildings. Okay, that's not really buildings. That's more, I don't know, tiny houses
Yeah,
with
they just built by their own.
Yeah, that was really a shock for me. That I don't expected that.
Okay, thank you.
And the
For-
jeepneys and the tricycles. But that's amazing.
Oh, the
transportation.
tricycles.
That's amazing, not a culture shock.
Yes.
A good point.
That's a good point here.
So
And the food is good.
what was the biggest communication difference you experienced? Biggest communication difference.
Yeah,
We are using English.
we are using English. I'm learning a little bit Tagalog, so words like to say hello and so and thank you, like salamat, and with ko, po, kuya, all this stuff. But the craziest part for me is I don't really. My name for the Philippine language is Tenglish, because Taglish, because the mix between English and Tagalog.
Yes.
Sometimes it makes me crazy. Sometimes it makes me laugh, because in one sentence they're starting maybe with Tagalog, saying 1, 2 words in Tagalog, then 2, 3 in English, then again Tagalog, English. That's weird for me. That was, as an example, when we was on your birthday celebration. You remember I was there?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, it was beautiful, because this part, that was amazing for me, because we don't do this whether in Austria nor in Australia. That is really an amazing part. I really love that the people make the celebration when they turn to 18 and so. That's amazing.
Yes, thank
And
you.
the most was amazing for me that I was invited. Again, thank you for that.
Thank you. Thank you
You're
also.
welcome. So another conversation. Yeah, it's just
Maybe it's not much with the difficulties of the communication, because most of the Filipinos can understand English, not that fluent, but they can communicate. So yeah, Thomas was not able, or didn't experience that much difficulties
Yeah.
with regards to the communication.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. But what I'm also like is in the our example when you say thank you, and I say salamat po or salamat kuya or ate or miss. Always when we're going somewhere shopping or in a restaurant, and they all here, Chana and the girls, they say thank you. And I'm always the only one that says salamat po or ate or so, you know. I'm trying, because I think I'm a guest here, and the minimum requirement as a guest is, of course, following the rules and the culture, but even that you speak a little bit the language, even it's just to say thank you. And what I'm so like on this when I'm doing that, the people are always surprised that I'm trying to use a little bit Tagalog words. And the reaction is always the same. They're first to and then and smiling, or they're just happy to oh. Or then behind my back they're asking Chana, is he talking Tagalog? And I celebrate that because that makes me happy.
And this will be for our last question.
Yeah.
Okay, for our last question po, what was your overall experience with interacting with Filipinos?
Just positive. Just positive. The kindness what the peoples have here, that's amazing. I was living in different countries in my entire life, I think 7, 8 countries for a longer time, till 2 years before Australia, of course. But I never met such kind peoples like the Filipinos. They're always friendly, they're never complaining, not directly.
Smiling.
They're smiling, they're very helpful. Doesn't matter if you ask something like yesterday, we was out for a dinner and we don't have found the place right now. And so I was just going to people to ask them about the direction and so, and there was not surprised, no shock, nothing. They was friendly, polite, explained where we have to go, like it's usual, you know? In other countries, is that not to let you stand there and say, oh, I don't know, and walking away. That's just one example. Yeah, that's the kindness and the warm hearting of the peoples here at the Philippines. That's really amazing. I am so far to say that's nearly unique.
That's why you extended again.
I am not of course, but and that's the other reason and point why my future plan is to stay here permanently at the Philippines. I actually extended my holiday twice. The second time was just today. I canceled my flight and rebooked for a month later. And yeah, the plan is then in
And the fish.
29th, 28th of November, I'm going back to Australia. Then I will work a few months again there. And then I'm trying to come back again for a longer time. but to stand permanently here in Australia, at the Philippines, I think I have to go back a second time to Australia to work a few months. And then I think I will have achieved it, to have enough money to stay permanently here, and we can buy or build a house or making our own business. Because, yeah, that's about the people and the culture here. Because in Australia, even I'm staying now since 7 years in Australia, I don't feel really well, or I don't feel at home. You know what I mean? But here, after 1-2 weeks, I said to Jonah, I say it permanently, that's like my country, but better. And I'm feeling home now. The time I'm staying here, I can say I am at home. And in Australia, I don't have these feelings in 7 years. That's a reason why I want to come here forever. So I think that speaks for the Filipinos.
Thank you very much for your time po, for all of your shares and experience po. We appreciate it so much po. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Salamat.
You're always welcome, Faith.
Have a nice
Thank
day.
you po.
Take care and stay healthy.
Yes po.
Yeah.
Take care also po. Thank you
Thank you
po.
po again.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you po. Goodbye po.
That was
Bye.
a great sharing.
Thank you po.
So it seems like Zaini has problems with her Wi-Fi. Let me introduce ourselves in her place. We're from psychology students. I'm Laika po, and with me is Faith Samoba, Juliana, and Zaini. We only have a few questions to ask you po. First question, where are you from?
I am from France. I am French nationality, but I live 7 years in Romblon, in the province of Romblon. And I come back in France with the pandemic of COVID, because we have with my wife resort, and no more tourists in Philippines from March 2020, and we have waited 1 year and nothing arrived. So I need the money for the life, for it, and we come back in France. But I come back in France for have work, and we wait. The situation on the pandemic will be better in Philippines for tourists come back, be back, and at this moment we can try to operate again our resort in Romblon. But actually, I am in France.
Are you in France? Could you elaborate what the culture is like?
Sorry, can you repeat?
Could you explain what the culture there is like?
Okay. The culture here in France,
In
right?
France or in Philippines?
Yes, in France.
Okay.
The
The culture.
culture in France?
Voila.
It's very difficult.
Number one is what's the first?
The first culture in France is the food.
Yes.
very,
Food.
very
Second
important. Very important.
Yeah.
After you have the mind, you have many writers in France, célèbres, about the philosophy, about the many important about the think. Les droits de l'homme, the right, human right. The first is from France,
Yeah.
and many.
And the law. You need to follow the law.
No, everywhere you follow. I have someone want to help me, but difficult. No,
The culture.
the culture in France, yes. The food, the paint also. Many paint.
It's the famous in the world. Yeah.
One
Exactly there. Yeah. The painting and the word is the one in France. You can find.
But you can see one of the famous museum is Le Louvre, is in Paris. So it's a part of the culture, very important, because in this museum you can see from everywhere in the world, but France is particularly represented. there.
What is another culture shock?
That's amazing. I always wanted to visit. For the next question, is there a unique way that you greet your elders?
Can you
Unique
repeat?
way. Can you translate another English for no? Can you repeat?
Is there a special way that you greet those older than you?
Comment le sound?
The sound? Can you repeat?
The sound
please?
is bad sometimes. Can you repeat?
Is there a special way you greet your elders? Those
Greet.
older.
The phone?
Elders, what you unique you do for study all the kids. What you need unique way.
J'ai pas compris la question.
Can you repeat the question
Repeat
again?
the question again.
Or she can
Use another word maybe. Use another way.
Okay. Is there any way special? Like, how do you show respect to those older?
respect to those olders. How you
Their
respect
people.
their people.
Oh, we
The
respect.
other older. The other. How you respect the other. How you
Je comprends pas.
how you apply to respect the other. Of course.
But
you
the respect by older need to be with the example.
yeah.
If you are,
It's
Chris,
the
c'est bon.
interview.
Hello.
Chris, c'est pas grave. With the respect. If you respect the people respect you. The majority of the time. With the example. If you are exemplary, not send the politic, the people respect you better.
Yes.
Depends the people.
Oh, this one's fun. What's the popular sport in France?
Popular sport, football, rugby, football and rugby. After a little bit basketball, handball, but the famous is the football. We are champion of the world from 2018
Wow.
in football. Shiny.
Oh, sorry.
So for our next question po. So what was your overall experience when the time you were living here in the Philippines, when you were interacting with Filipinos, what was your overall experience with it?
All your experience, you can say, like
What?
your experience in Philippines.
What the first one?
Oh, you have a lot of experience like the weather, the type,
But
the people,
the
the
peop-
simple people in Rome.
About the people.
Yeah, the people.
Voilà dit tout, Chris. Le mouchoir, pas banal.
It's okay.
Expérience, il y a the typhoon,
The weather.
the weather is important. Important also in the Philippines, the people have a time, but all the time the people have a time. It's very different than the France and Europe because the people don't take care of the time.
Yeah.
The time is not a problem in the Philippines. That is very. We are surprised when you arrive from another country to live with that, because
The time.
the time is.
Time is gold.
The time,
Yeah, time
No,
is gold in France.
No, but the time, we take care of the time in the Philippines. For example, when we use the ferry boat, sometimes you wait 2 hours, sometimes you wait half hour, 4 hours, sometimes 8 hours. Hey, nobody is shouting, everybody wait. It's normal. It's not a problem. In France, if you do that, you have a revolution.
There's very.
So, but the time is not a problem for the Philippines. After the typhoon, yes, it's very
Strong.
many strong and many problems with that, with the rain. Same you can see last week.
Yeah.
After
The people, no problem.
the food is good, but sometimes the problem is cold. In France, we respect the temperature of the food.
Yeah, this is a very
In-
important.
In Philippines, when you have one plate, you have all inside You have the pasta cold, the food can be cold. If you arrive when it's hot, it's hot. If you arrive when it's cold, it's cold. In France, we respect the time of the food. But it's good, the food. But the people, when you have a fiesta or event, the people don't take care of the temperature of the food. Pero pasa rap. But if you respect the temperature, it can be better.
Okay.
Have you experienced a culture shock? Like, for example, you don't do this thing on France, but we do this in the Philippines. Have you experienced those things?
Surprenant, what experience?
You are shocked now?
No, mais, ouais, non, mais
Not much.
but the patience of the people, yes, very important. About the time, the patience of the people is incredible. It's reason many times when you have one place where you see some tourists, every time the tourist shouting because he waits. The Filipinos don't move about that, but the European or American shouting because you have no time, you need to wait. You don't like. The Filipino wait is not a problem. So that's something about that. But after the Filipino, I like the culture of the Filipino. I like the people. It's friendly. But never shouting. But just my wife, but it's different.
Okay, what else?
Signing, I see you.
Oh yeah, you're very slow the connection. Wait, go to us.
Rainy,
You have some question?
we're not sure if Zaidi can talk.
Some question? Because
No, mais
she have a
close.
very slow connection. Slow, no.
Well, I'll ask Zaine's question.
Okay.
So we're talking about communication cultures. What's the main difference in the languages between Tagalog and French?
Different language, but you have some word in Tagalog coming from the Spanish and the French. The Spanish and the French, and the Italian is the origin of Latin language. So you have many words we can understand, but the part of the Tagalog from Malaysian language, from the older word, is very difficult for us, for me. For example, all the words arrive in Philippines after 15th century. Table, tabla, basso, yellow, about the dress. It's a Spanish word, and that is the same origin. Then it's a Spanish. It's a Latin origin. So we have the same in France. For example, in France we said table, and in Spanish c'est tabla. Pantalon, pantalon, pantalones, camiseta, chemise.
So the language barrier was not that big.
Sorry?
The barriers with language was not big.
Oh, wait, it's here.
Okay.
Bearing, ibig sabihin different. No, some. No, sorry, different. It's a big difference.
No, about the language, you have also a difference. In France, we don't pronounce all the letters.
Yeah.
In Philippines, if you put one letters, you pronounce all the letters. And sometimes when you see the word Spanish with the origin Latin, in France, sometimes we pronounce different, but it's same. Is sometimes we are surprised about the Philippine pronunciation because you use all the letters.
Yeah.
But that is a culture.
And the pronunciation.
And your NG is very hard also for us.
Yeah, NG. Voilà. NG.
Ny.
No, NG.
NG.
NG. You cannot pronounce the R. Pronounce R and air. In France, air.
You have some letters and the R.
Is R in English. R.
R in English, R in French, and in Philippines, the pronunciation is a Spanish pronunciation in Philippines.
Yeah, it's different. Big different.
And I have some big differences. But our kids have she learned, and my wife, she learned now to speak French, but it's difficult for pronunciation for her also.
Can I speak?
Bonjour.
Bonjour. Can I join?
Very good.
Yes. Hello. Yeah. Hello. Good morning, everybody. I'm Christina Duran. I'm the wife of Luc Duran, who want to interview. Okay. It's about the
Pronunciation.
Yeah, pronunciation and language. Normally, French language is very hard.
No,
compare
it's not
Tagalog or English because a different pronunciation and different spelling. Because in our language is the letter you pronounce with a or a vowel sound, right? And English also, and French is very different. It's when I learn French language, for me, wow, so very top. For me, it's one of the top language difficult, but it's very intelligent because lot of letter to use it and different pronunciation. Example, the R in English, Ra in Tagalog, but in French the R is air.
If you
Air. Like that,
if
when we hear that is air, it's like a wind, diba? Air. AER. But in French it's just R. And one letter also is W. In our Tagalog, what is W in Tagalog sa atin? Wa. In English is W. In French is double. So see? No, it's not.
double.
Double.
One of difference also, say, for example, when you use the O in English, what you said?
O.
When you put I, ça fait wa.
Voilà.
If you put a U, ça fait ou.
Yes.
The sound change if you associate with another YL.
And also here the things or words they use all the time a masculine and feminine. In Philippines they use only for human and animal, feminine and masculine, right?
Yes.
But here you use everything, the feminine and masculine, always you use it that.
You have a difference?
Yeah, it's a difference. Yes, it's very difficult, but it's very professional language for me. It's very professional language. It's a difficult, a different. Okay, so
Ella, come on.
that's all.
Come on, Ella. You have
Thank you.
you have experience with
You're
French.
welcome.
For that.
No, tu peux pas ta gueule aussi.
And am I audible?
Pardon?
Okay. Yes.
Okay, thank you for that. For the last question,
Go ahead.
what is your most celebrated holiday or festival in France, if do you have any?
The special occasion.
14 juillet.
What's
14 juillet is the date of the revolution. C'est the Philippines Independence Day.
Independence Day.
Le 14 juillet, c'est when you have a revolution in France. It's a national day, and we have a big fiesta, fireworks,
Fireworks. Yeah, that's the special celebration in France is the July 14. It's
So when we cut the head of
of the king.
the king.
Yeah, that is the date of they cut the king
So it's
in
not-
Philippines.
it's not-
In France, sorry. In France. That is very, very important day.
So when this date is when the date important of the Revolution French,
Yeah.
because they open the jail and you have some people inside for open the jail. Freedom.
It's a freedom.
Voilà.
Voilà, very good. Era.
I have learned that it's cool.
In French school?
Oh,
So you understand?
yeah. Okay. Good, very good. Yeah, that is a
That's
very
amazing.
yeah.
So thank you po for the interview. Could we take a screenshot of everybody here? Take a
Yes,
picture.
but sorry, because I just wake up. Sometimes.
It's okay. So are you ready? Okay, 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3. Thank you
Okay.
so much.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. It's a great
And
time.
learn well, everybody.
Yeah, that is
Don't forget you have a future of the Philippines.
yes.
Thank you.
Study well, everybody. Study well, everybody. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. If any you need some question, we are here.
No problem. You
Yeah,
can,
no problem.
and you can ask to Marie-Léa in Tagalog. And
It's
Ella
my daughter.
also, was
My
our daughter.
The cousin of Saina. The cousin of Saina.
Chinese Ponga. Yeah, it's my niece.
Elle a ta cousine. Elle est ta
Yes.
cousine. Oh,
This is a classmate of Ati Saini.
Where that
Student
Bonjour.
Ala, wow, bonjour.
Bonjour, bébé.
Wow,
Bonjour.
speak a French.
Tu peux parler tagalog, toi?
Bonjour is
Je
good morning.
suis Laika.
Ah, c'est-
Ah, vous parlez français un petit peu?
Voilà, c'est bien.
Je parle un petit peu français.
Voilà,
I
c'est
don't
bien.
speak a little.
Voilà, bravo, hein? Bravo.
Merci.
Dorian, Ati Saini. Say hello
Où,
to Ati Saini.
où as-tu appris français? Le français?
French
Où,
subject.
où as-tu appris le français? Where you learn the French?
I learned online only through apps.
Ah, it's an
Online.
app. Come on.
Application?
Yeah,
Ah,
application.
good.
Bakit you touch that? No.
Japanese and Paris.
Well,
Ah.
it's good, c'est bien. C'est bien
Très
ça.
bien, très bien.